So here we are in North Wexford, and we are actually the only seal rescue facility in the Republic of Ireland. So we're covering over 7,000 kilometers of coastline. There is one other centre in Northern Ireland, but they only respond to strandings in the Northern Irish coastline. So we're a very busy centre, and this is it. We're very small, but we do have a big network of volunteers that help us. These indicator species, they're an apex predator, they're keystone species. They are absolutely critical to the environment, and the numbers are very low in Ireland. Despite what you might hear from some people, we actually only have about 8,000 to 10,000 grey seals, and we only have about 4,000 common seals, and those numbers are on a decline. And that's because they are facing a huge range of threats. Plastic pollution, entanglement, this is all actually cut off of seals that we've rescued. They can get illnesses from pollution in the water, which all comes, right from the land. Injuries is a big one because it pertains to climate change. The more strong storms there are, the more frequent those storms are, the harder of a life these guys get. So if we're getting a lot of seals coming in from storms, that probably means there's a lot of seals out there that have died in those storms that we're just not hearing about. And a lot of these other threats, such as pollution and plastics and overfishing, that's going to affect every other marine animal that inhabits that ecosystem. So you can kind of look at them like an umbrella species. If we can address the threats facing the environment that's making these seals need to be rescued, then we're actually protecting everything else that inhabits that ecosystem. So overfishing is a huge problem in Ireland. We overfish by about 22%. So at this rate, we will run out of fish. Fishermen will lose their jobs, and this spells trouble for all of these native animals that need to eat fish. They can't go to the grocery store like we can. They have to be able to hunt for their food. But with habitat destruction and fish stock declines, it's harder and harder for them. So that's why we get in a lot of really skinny pups like this. The mothers can't get enough food, they can't produce enough milk, and so they do get abandoned. Now, the last threat facing seals is the easiest one to avoid, and it's disturbance. So this is Wilbur. He was a little pup, very good example, but these come in all the time, where basically someone walking up to the pup on the beach caused the mother to leave it, and without us intervening, there would be no chance that that pup would survive. So the biggest thing that we can do is give wildlife space, at least 100 meters. If a seal is looking at you, it means you're too close. That's disturbance. So they are protected under the 1976 Wildlife Act, as well as EU law. So it is illegal to harm, disturb, or hurt them. And now that you guys have learned all of this, you are our eyes and ears on the beach. So if you ever do see a seal and you see people approaching it, just make sure you say something, because most people aren't aware that that can be very, very harmful. And when in doubt, you can always report it to NPWS, which is the authority for wildlife crimes.